Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest episode of My Life with Asperger's. My name is Mike Demaro, and this episode I'm going to talk about tempers. Now, I know in the last episode I talked about behavior, and tempers is part of behaviors, so we'll talk about that on this episode. Now, temper is something that happens when you get angry or upset about something and something that's not going your way. And I know it's tough for us Aspies or autistic people to control our temper at sometimes, but it's a way, it's a thing that we need to control life, because everything is not going to go our way. Victory is not always ours, and we have to deal with it. It's part of life. Now, temper is a hard topic to talk about, but I'm going to give it my best, the old college try, and we're going to talk about temper because it needs to be talked about. Now, temper, like I said, is something that happens when you get angry or upset about something that you don't want to change or you don't like what's happening or whatever. Now, let me give you examples from my life. Now, I know that, like, for example, next week I'm only scheduled 2 days to work. Like this week I'm scheduled 4 days to work. Now, I controlled my temper, okay? I didn't get angry. I didn't get upset. I know I was upset inside and angry inside that I'm only getting 2 days next week, but I didn't hold any grudges against anybody, and I didn't yell or get upset at anybody. And I did the right thing, and I went on the Facebook group for our workplace and asked anybody if they were willing to give up any shifts to let me know and let me pick up another day. So far it has not happened. But it can be a good thing for me too because I can try to look for another job. Now, another example I have is about job, okay? Or looking for a job. You know, I've been trying real hard to look for another job, a better paying job, a job that I can use my degree towards. But unfortunately, the job market has not been good to me. Like in the past, I would go for interviews and they wouldn't hire me. I don't know if it's my resume or if it's my eye contact or what. It's real hard for me to do well in interviews, and I need practice on that. But I don't want to go off topic, tonight's topic especially, so we'll talk about that another time. But anyways, I have lost my temper. Let's give you an example of when I do lose my temper. Okay? Like for example, somebody driving in front of me is driving too slow or wants to make a left-hand turn and I'm trying to pass the car, and I get real frustrated. It's like, where does this idiot come from? Or how does this idiot drive? I get real frustrated that I'm trying to pass this guy and he's going too slow. I get real frustrated. I feel angry. There's nothing I can do about it. And there was a few times that I did honk my horn at people too for doing this. And I feel real upset when people do drive slow or, you know, like I'm trying to get to point A, or actually point B, I should say, from point A to point B and try and get there on time, and yet this guy or this girl or this car in front of me wants to drive real slow. I have real problem with that. You know, I get frustrated that they want to drive slow in the left lane. You know, the left lane is meant to go faster. When you know what they try to do is try to pass them. You know, or even if they're in the other lane. You know, or one of the other lanes, the right lanes. You know, it gets me frustrated that they drive very slow like that. You know, I know that it's going to be a problem for me. I get pissed off with idiots. Idiots, I think idiots control this world when they don't. And you know, they don't care. They come and come and come. And that's when I lose my temper. I lose my temper with idiots because they don't know any better. You know? I know that I could relax and deal with it, but sometimes, you know, it pisses me off. You know? And I'm sorry for the mood, but if I want to try to explain temper for an autistic person, that's the way I gotta explain it. Okay? I'm sorry, but that's the way I gotta explain it. And going back onto the topic, you know, idiots drive me nuts. I get frustrated all the time when guests leave their trash on the table expecting us to pick it up. When we, you know, it's supposed to be their job to pick it up. You know, we're a quick service restaurant. In America, quick service restaurants, you go up to the cash register, you pay them, and then you go get your food and seat yourself, and you're supposed to take the trash from your table to the trash can. You know? You're not supposed to leave it on the table expecting us to clean it up. You know? And that frustrates me, and sometimes I feel temper, you know? But, you know, temper can happen at work too. And that's not the only problem. The problem with the trash I just explained to you. That's not the only problem, okay? That can cause to get a temper, okay? Maybe you deal with a coworker that you cannot deal with. That's another example of trying to control your temper, you know? Because you're both there to work, but yet you don't like the other person, and it's real hard because you have to work with them. It's a part of a team. You have to deal with people that you don't like, and you have to deal with people that you like. Simple as that, you know? But yeah, I get frustrated sometimes if they do things that I don't do, or they do something the wrong way and I have to show them the right way all the time, you know? You know what I mean? It's real hard. It's frustrating for me to deal with people like that. Idiots are a breed of people that causes me to have tempers, you know? You know, when I was growing up, I'm gonna tell you, there was times I had tempers like a child. You know, even as a teenager, my parents saw me acting like a child. You know, and it's real hard because we don't know how to act properly. You know, we don't know how to control our temper like that. You know? And we want to have our own way all the time, We want to be right all the time, and we cannot be. I know that. But it's real hard for us to know what is age appropriate. It's. Uh, I'm an adult right now, and adults are tended to know when it's okay to express anger and when you have to express okay, or express or you have to keep it in you. I know it's hard at work, like the example I gave earlier about how I'm scheduled 4 days this week but only 2 days next week, and they're cutting my hours. That's real frustrating. And me trying to find another job, that's real frustrating too. And that builds up my temper. Like I get frustrated. It's like, come on now, what's going on here? And it feels like sometimes I can't talk to the boss because they're gonna give me crap that, sorry for using that word, they're gonna give me crap that I don't deserve. You know, I know they're there to help, but at the same time, they're gonna give me an answer that's not gonna help me. And I'm trying to keep my temper because I cannot keep asking my parents to help me out with money. I need to find another job so I can get more money, so I can get these bills paid without asking my mom and dad all the time for money. And all these things build up inside of me, and that gives me a temper. It raises my temper level. Well, I'm not talking about the Tempur-Pedic mattress. I'm talking about temper. The the feeling of temper. You know what I mean? That's what this whole episode's about. Is temper. Is how you control your temper. You know? But anyways, there's good times and bad times. And I know bad times you have tempers. It's like you gotta control it. You know, for example, let me tell you, when I was working at Six Flags, my last day there, they thought I was yelling at guests, you know? And people thought I lost my temper. Now, I don't think I was losing my temper that day, but I was frustrated that they didn't come and get rid of the hornets that were on my ride. You know, it was real hard to deal with that, you know? And I'm trying to get these people, I'm trying to get the guests who are riding on the ride away from the hornets and trying to do what the rules say, at the time. You know? It's real hard. I can't discuss much of it on here because A, I was terminated from that company. B, the issue is between me and them. And C, I've probably forgotten most of it. So I can't really discuss that much. So, anyways. Now, I lost my temper a few times at work. Yes. Yes, I did lose my temper. But I try to keep it inside of me. I try to become and not as a child. Like, for example, hours. Like, if they schedule me late, I'm gonna be upset. It's like sometimes when I check my schedule at work and the hours don't match up to what I want to work, it'll be like I'm getting, I'm pissed off, you know? But I try to keep that anger inside of me. I don't let any of the managers see my angriness, I don't let any of the managers see my expression. You know, like during holiday time, I was like, I saw all these days that I'm scheduled, and I was like pissed off at the time. But at the same time, I'm like, hey, we can work these hours, or hey, we can give away a shift if we have to. That's not a problem. There's people out there that want to take shifts. So, but yeah, when it comes to work schedules, I I get I'm okay with some of them. Then I get pissed off with others. And then it's real hard to keep it inside of you, and it's real hard to not express it to anybody. You know. But anyways, let me give you another example. You probably know about the bullying situation that's been happening at my work. We did an episode about bullying, and I had to keep my temper controlled, right? I told one of the guys to shut up. Like, shut up. Like, crazy. And I meant it. And it's real hard for me to keep, tell people how I feel without getting angry, you know? Because one wrong move or one wrong word, you can be tossed out of there. You lose your job. Temper is a thing that we need to control because, one of these days, if I lose it, I'm probably going to be court ordered to go into court, and they're probably going to order me to go to anger management class, or work could pull me in, manager could pull me in the office and tell me that I'm fired or something, or manager could pull me in the office and tell me, hey, Mike, why don't you we're gonna suggest you take some anger management classes because sometimes you don't know how to control your temper. You know? Well, they're not gonna say it exactly like that, but you know what I mean? Or if I tell a therapist the problems I've been having, and if they and they know about it and all that, and they could say, "Hey, Mike, I know that you've been having some anger problems, and I'm gonna try to help you out as much as I can to make you calm and relax. But I'm also gonna have to recommend you go into anger management. You know, now anger management is a place that I don't want to be going to. But if I keep losing my temper over silly things and stupid things, then a cop or a boss or somebody could be like, "Hey, Mike, you're going to anger management class." And I'll be like, "Why?" You know? And they'll be like, "Because you can't control your anger." You know? Now, temper also can cause death. I'll tell you that much right now. If you get angry too much, your blood pressure is going to go high. And if your body's shaped like me, then you might have diabetes and all that, and then your heart might go crazy. You might get a heart attack, you might get a stroke, and you might die at a young age even. So you gotta control your anger. You know, you cannot die because of anger. You know, I know anger can cause death. Let's put it that way, because the anger builds up, the temper builds up, you get a heart attack, and you'll die. You know what I mean? I know that's not a good way of saying it, but that's the way life goes. You gotta control your temper. If somebody asks you to do something, please do it. Don't give them a hard time. Don't lose your temper. You can't lose it. Or you can't let your temper skyrocket, Because, like I said, if you do, they're going to fire you, or they're going to arrest you, or they're going to ask you to go on anger management, you know? Hopefully I don't have to go on anger management for my life. I'll try to control my anger as much as I can. And I'll try to be careful with the other vehicles that are on the road and the other coworkers at work and the other campers that live in my campground and the other members of my camping club and the other members of my family. I know I get angry with my parents at times, but that's the way life goes, and we have a disagreement, and it's hard to deal with it. But anyways, I'm going to end this episode, and I hope you enjoy learning things about temper and keeping it under control, because I want you guys to keep it under control. I don't want anybody to lose their temper. And I'll talk to you guys later. Bye for now.